Before we start, just a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. Only 2% are subscribed. At 1,000 subscribers, I'll be posting a special video. The plate explodes against the sink and water leaps. Take another test. His finger jabs the drawer. I pull the stick from the box with shaking hands. He paces behind me like a metronome gone rogue. Today decides everything, do you hear me? I'm Mara, 34, heart punching like a drumline. The bathroom door bumps my hip as I push in. My breath fogs the mirror and blurs my own face. He stands in the doorway and blocks my exit. Make it right, he whispers like a warning. I pee on plastic and count to 30 out loud. He watches the strip as if staring could change it. 2 lines rise slow and stubborn like truth. His jaw clamps hard and a laugh escapes wrong. Good, now we fix the rest or we're done. The rest, I set the test down and step back. He lifts the box and reads like a prosecutor. Blood test at 8 weeks, we push it sooner. It's not a vending machine, I say with dryness. He turns the shower on full blast to drown me. Our daughter cries from her room, small feet, quick taps. I move past his arm and he grips my wrist. Don't tell her anything until we know. I peel his fingers off one by one, steady. Lena clings to my leg and stares at his shoes. We're late, I scoop her backpack and my keys. He blocks the hall again and holds out his phone. Appointment for today, you will not cancel. I take the screen and see the clinic name. He smiles without warmth like a locked door. In the car, he taps the dashboard for emphasis. Say it, we're getting a son. I check the mirror and meet my own eyes. We're getting a baby, I keep my voice even. He slams his palm once and bites down on silence. At drop-off, Lena won't let go of my coat. Sleepover at Nana, her whisper scratches with hope. Soon after school, I promise, I kiss her hairline. She nods and watches me like she's memorizing. I peel away while her teacher waves a question. The clinic lobby hums with low conversations and nerves. He sits too straight and counts the ceiling tiles. I sign the form and the pen dents the paper. The nurse calls my name and glances at him twice. He rises before me like he owns the air. In the room, he sits on the stool and spins. What's the fastest way to know? His voice cuts clean. The nurse lists options one by one, calm. He interrupts to ask about guarantees and timing. I press my palm over my belly and breathe. Non-invasive, she says, soon but not instant. He clicks his tongue like a clock striking midnight. We expedite, money is not the issue. She studies my face instead of his swagger. Your comfort is, she answers, landing on me. I nod once and hold my ground on the paper. He reaches under the tray and grabs the pamphlet. He folds it into a crisp square and pockets it. The needle goes in and my skin prickles hot. He watches the vial like it contains a verdict. At checkout, he leans over the counter too close. Call me the second anything posts. The receptionist shifts the phone away from his hand. We contact the patient first, eyes on me firm. He blinks and smiles the way wolves smile. Outside, wind knifes through my shirt and stings. He walks ahead and tosses the car keys up. Celebrate tonight if you finally did your job. The keys arc once and I catch them wrong. Metal bites my palm and leaves a red crescent. On the drive home, he scrolls through old photos. He angles the screen so I can't avoid it. Remember what we had, he murmurs like a prayer. I keep my eyes on the road and the white lines. My throat tightens while memory claws at the present. We reach the house and he heads straight to storage. Boxes scrape the floor as he drags them out. He opens one and freezes for half a second. Nothing goes to waste, he says finally, clipped. He lifts a tiny jersey and sets it center. Put that away, my voice cracks but holds. He spreads more items like a ritual with rules. This is motivation. He wipes his hands on jeans. I pick up the jersey and fold it tight. I slip it back into the box like a secret. His phone rings and he answers before the first buzz ends. He nods, mutters a date, ends the call without goodbye. Follow up in 2 days, we push for results then. I don't move, he steps closer until our toes touch. You won't rob me twice, he breathes against my cheek. Leave my body out of your scoreboard. He flinches like I slapped him, then grins. You owe me, he taps my stomach with 2 knuckles. The sound is soft and brutal and final. I swat his hand away and he laughs once. The front door opens and closes down the hall. My sister's text flashes on my watch, "Are you okay?" I tilt my wrist so he can't see the line. "Fine," I text back, then erase the word. I type "call me in an hour" and lock the screen. He moves to the kitchen and yanks a drawer. Utensils clatter as if trying to flee the noise. He finds a marker and writes on the calendar. "Boy or bust," he prints in sharp block letters. The marker squeals and leaves a gouge that bleeds. I step beside him and pull the calendar down. The tack snaps and bounces across the floor. He grabs my shoulder and heat shoots up my neck. "Don't make me the villain," he says very low. I stare at his hand until he lets go. Silence fattens, then the faucet drips like a timer. My phone buzzes once with a clinic confirmation. He watches my face for a reaction and fails. I slip the phone into my pocket and breathe slow. He turns away and opens another box with force. A car door slams outside, neighbor voices rise, fade. He lowers his tone and smooths his hair back. "Practice your smile for good news tonight." I walk to the sink and wash my palms clean. Blood streaks down the drain from the earlier cut. I wrap the nick with a bandage and flex. He hovers behind me and checks the time. "We'll know soon," he says like a prophecy. I look at the window and see my reflection split. He steps closer until my breath fogs the glass again. My phone buzzes on the counter and he lunges. I swipe first and tilt the screen away. Unknown number flashes twice, then stops ringing. He folds his arms and waits like a guard. Answer next time or turn it over. I open recent calls and hit return immediately. "Clinic," a calm voice breathes in my ear. "We have scheduling updates for your file." "Use email," I say while staring at him. "Subject line project," I add like a code. He tracks the movement of my hands and smirks. Transparency keeps marriages alive. His knuckle taps the table. I move to the sink and rinse my cup. The silence stretches until the faucet clicks off. "Pick up Lena early," he says without looking up. "Why early?" I stand still and wait. "Practice tonight," he answers while checking his watch. "For what?" I already know the script. He lifts his chin and smiles without warmth. "Winning streaks start at home." I text my sister one word and a time. He leans over my shoulder and pretends to yawn. "Family meeting now," he mutters with a shrug. I lock the phone and tuck it away. "After school," I say, holding his stare. We drive to work and he calls the clinic. Speaker stays off while his jaw grinds slow. He gives my birth date and pauses for a beat. "Add my cell to notifications," he orders with ease. I memorize the cadence of the nurse's refusal. At a red light, he flips through his calendar. He creates a new entry titled "Answer" immediately. I watch the reflected text blink like an alert. He rotates the phone and pockets it in one motion. "Teamwork," he says, letting the word hang. I drop him at the office and hold the wheel. He bends down to the window and lowers his voice. "Positive thoughts only," he whispers like a rule. I nod once and pull away cleanly. My pulse steadies as the building shrinks. At school pickup, Lena sprints into my arms. She searches my face like checking a forecast. Sleep over, her breath tickles my collarbone. Pack favorite pajamas, I say into her hair. She grins and then peeks over my shoulder. I call my sister while Lena buckles herself in. Code is active, I say, and keep it short. 2 hours, she replies over faint traffic noise. Front door stays open, I add with meaning. We hang up before questions can start. Back home, the hallway smells like his cologne. The note on the table reads dinner at 6. Below it sits an envelope with clinic branding. Address block shows my name with his number. I slide it into my tote and zip fast. I unlock my laptop and open a new account. All results forward to this inbox now. I create a label titled Task and hide it. Every ping routes to me first and then everywhere. I breathe once and hit save twice. He arrives early and drops his keys loudly. Change plans, he announces while loosening his tie. We meet Coach at the park, his eyes flick bright. I keep my face still and check the clock. After dinner, I counter, already moving to prep. Before dinner, he blocks the hallway like a wall. Lena appears with her backpack and a hopeful grin. Park, she echoes, bouncing on her heels. I nod and grab my tote plus my phone. He steps aside with a victorious snort. At the park, a boy throws careless passes. He watches and judges each spiral like a test. See that, he murmurs while nudging my elbow. Lena swings from the bar and laughs too hard. My stomach flutters, but I keep standing tall. Coach never shows and he checks his messages. Nothing, he frowns and rubs his forehead once. People waste time, he mutters through tight teeth. I guide Lena to the car and buckle her in. He slams the door harder than needed. On the drive back, he tries a softer tone. We can start fresh if you try. Try what, I ask, eyes on the street. You know, he says, fingers drumming the armrest. I swallow the answer and follow the route home. My sister's car waits around the corner with hazards. She pops out with a smile and a tote. Movie night, she chirps W. Heil hugging Lena fast. He forces a grin and nods toward the house. Back by 9, he adds, voice flat as stone. When they leave, he exhales like the room expands. He pours water and watches me over the rim. Any emails, he asks lightly, like small talk. I wipe the counter and shake my head once. His lips twitch, then settle into patience. My laptop pings from the bedroom and I freeze. He tilts his head and starts toward the sound. I step faster and reach the doorway first. Work call, I toss over my shoulder as cover. He stops in the hall and listens anyway. The message subject reads, Project Update Confirmed. Inside sits a time window and a consent form. I scan the details twice and click Request. Results will route to my number and this account. I lock the screen and slide the machine away. He leans on the doorframe and narrows his eyes. You keep secrets poorly, he whispers with a smile. Boundaries, I answer, keeping my voice measured. He laughs once and scratches his jaw slowly. Boundaries break when pressure climbs. The oven timer shrills and we both flinch. We eat in separate corners of the table. He stares at his plate more than he eats. Call them tomorrow, he says between small bites. Push harder, they listen when husbands insist. I stack dishes and rinse with brisk motions. He follows and sets his glass beside mine. We were meant for a legacy, he murmurs close. I shift my weight and set the sponge down. Legacy survives kindness, I answer without blink. His phone buzzes and he steps into the hall. He lowers his tone and shields the screen. Expedite, I catch, then a string of numbers. He ends the call and returns with a bright look. Good news soon, he says like a promise. I text my sister a new phrase and a time. She replies with a thumbs up and a heart. He glances at my hands and clears his throat. Movie run taking too long, he mutters, eyes sharp. They're fine, I say, then power off my phone. Night edges in and the house shrinks around breath. He closes the blinds and checks each latch twice. I gather a small bag and tuck it deep. Cash, charger, documents, all compact and ready. He watches me pass and pretends not to notice. Lena returns sleepy and sugar bright. She hugs my waist and whispers about a cartoon. He pats her head and stares over us both. Family photo tomorrow, he announces without discussion. I nod while my sister's eyes lock on mine. We say goodnight at the door with short smiles. He waves and closes it before she reaches her car. The lock clicks once and echoes through my chest. He turns to me and tilts his head sideways. Tomorrow decides the path, he murmurs, almost gentle. I check the hallway and pick up the calendar scrap. I crumple the words he wrote and pocket the paper. He watches and lets it slide for now. Upstairs, I hide the bag behind winter sweaters. I whisper to myself once and hold still. The house creaks as if listening for movement. He crawls into bed and faces the wall. I lie awake and track each measured breath. My phone stays dark inside the drawer. Somewhere between minutes, a plan hardens like ice. The phone vibrates on the nightstand and his hand darts. I roll faster and press, except with my thumb. Verification required before releasing non-invasive results, the voice says. Verbal password only, I give it while staring at him. He freezes in the doorway like he heard a gun cock. Wrong time for secrets, he blocks the hall with his shoulder. Wrong time for pressure, I pocket the phone and move past. He studies my face as if weighing a gamble. We go early and push the timeline. Try it and you walk alone, I answer steady. He sets 3 place settings and lines them up. Dinner at my parents', announcement confirmed for tonight. I slide the knives aside and wipe the table. No announcements without data, I say, tapping my pocket. His jaw ticks while the clock grinds out seconds. We drive before the sun clears the roofs. He scrolls messages and pockets the phone sharp. Doctor expects us now, he mutters with clipped pride. Doctor expects me, I correct, eyes fixed ahead. He exhales through his nose like a warning shot. The lobby door hisses and reception stiffens at him. Consent needed from the patient only, she says calmly. He leans on the counter and tilts his head. Add me for immediate updates now. Her finger lifts toward the privacy sign like a shield. She pulls up my chart and frowns at the screen. There is a second procedure on your file. My stomach drops while he pretends confusion with raised brows. Chorionic sampling at noon today. I stare at him and the room hums louder. I did not schedule that and I do not consent. He shrugs like it is a minor calendar mix-up. Necessary to accelerate outcomes, he says without blinking. Cancel it now, I tell reception, voice crisp. Her hands move fast while he shifts his weight. He steps closer and lowers his tone to velvet. Keep the slot, she changes her mind under pressure. I lift my phone and start recording in plain sight. Repeat that for the record if you are brave. He stares at the lens, then at the exit. Security appears with the soft tread of trained people. Sir, the patient has refused, the taller one says. He spreads his hands and plays reasonable for half a breath. Miscommunication, he says, smile stretched thin. They nod once and hold position anyway. I sign the restriction form with a firm stroke. Password change, no third-party access, text alerts to me. The receptionist prints an access log and slides it over. Unauthorized edits show his number stamped twice yesterday. I fold the sheet and slip it under my shirt. In the hallway, he crowds me against the fire door. Give me the password and we fix this fast. I hit the car remote and the horn blasts twice. Heads turn and his hands fall away like hot metal. He backs up with a grin that never reaches his eyes. Son is still the plan, he murmurs like a threat. Not through me if this is your strategy. He smirks and glances at his phone again. There are other routes if you keep blocking. The words crawl under my skin and start burning. I call the number the nurse handed me quietly. Patient advocate, a woman answers with steady cadence. False appointment made in my name, I report quickly. Documented now, she replies. Do not attend, save everything. She offers a legal referral and a safety checklist. I forward the appointment email to my sister. She replies with one word, ready, and a pin drop. I screenshot the access log and store 2 copies. The advocate texts a template for a police report. My fingers stop shaking as the path sharpens. At pickup, the teacher lanes close with a careful voice. A man tried to sign Lena out at 11. He had a note with your last name on it. She points to the folder where the paper sits. My ribs tighten as she hands me the forged note. I read the scrawl and feel my mouth go dry. Daddy cleared early release for training today. The signature looks almost like mine, but cleaner. Never released to anyone not on the form, I say. She nods once while my heart hammers against bone. Lena runs out with paint on her knuckles and beams. She stops when she sees my face hard as glass. Change of plan, Auntie's house tonight. She nods and squeezes my hand until it aches. We head for the car while I scan the street. At a red light, his message pops across the screen. Parents at 6 wear something hopeful. I stare at the words until the light turns green. Then I type a new line to the advocate. Meet me at the station in 1 hour. I slide the forged note across the metal desk. The officer reads every line and lifts an eyebrow. Attempted pickup without authorization, I state, voice steady. The advocate beside me taps her pen once. Documented, case number assigned, save that in 3 places. Any other interference today, the officer leans forward. Unauthorized medical scheduling under my name, I answer. He types fast and prints a short statement for signature. Call dispatch if he appears at school or clinic. I sign and feel my pulse climb again. Outside the station, the advocate hands me a checklist. Emergency phrase for your sister, she suggests, quick and dry. Photo evidence for everything, audio when safe. I can manage that, I say, pocketing the sheet. Do not go alone anywhere predictable, she adds, pointed. I drop Lena with my sister and hug hard. Game night, my sister chirps, bright on purpose. Long one, I answer and kiss Lena's forehead. The code word lands in her ear and she nods. My phone buzzes before I reach the porch steps. Dinner moved to 5:30, his text reads. Bring the test box for a photo. I type back one word, arriving, and hide the thread. My sister mouths, you got this, from the doorway. I square my shoulders and walk to the car. His parents' door opens before I knock. He appears in the frame with a practiced grin. Perfect timing, he says while checking my hands. No box, I reply, brushing past his shoulder. He inhales sharply and closes the door a little hard. The dining table is set with ceremony and precision. His mother kisses my cheek and studies my belly. Joy at last, she whispers with a quick pat. I take the end chair and keep my phone near. He clears his throat and raises a glass. To our coming grandson, he declares with bright teeth. I slide my phone into record and angle it. We wait for verified information, I say evenly. His father stiffens and stares at his son. She likes certainty, he offers, eyes still on me. I push a printout across the table to the father. Unauthorized clinic edits appear under his number. The father scans fast and frowns at the columns. "This is serious," he mutters, voice suddenly gravelly. His mother looks from face to face, unsure where to land. He reaches for the paper and I pull it back. "Explain the noon procedure," I ask without blinking. "Speed," he answers, shrug returning like armor. "Against my consent," I remind, tapping the margin. He lifts his shoulders and spreads his hands. My phone vibrates against the table and I freeze. The preview banner shows a name I recognize. Urology Group, appointment confirmation for last week. I keep my eyes neutral and open the message. Follow-up scheduled, results available in portal. I stand and excuse myself with a tight smile. In the hallway, his jacket hangs over a chair. The pocket holds a folded discharge summary. I snap 2 photos and tuck it back untouched. My thumb shakes, but the images look crisp. Back at the table, his mother offers a soft prayer. I place my phone face down and interlace my fingers. "Another toast," he says, forcing brightness into the room. "No," I answer and slide the urology screenshot across. Silence drops like a heavy blanket we cannot move. His father speaks first with a low rumble. "You withheld this from your wife." He stares at the photo and then at me. "Private health data," he tries, but the floor shifts. His mother's eyes fill and then harden. He reaches for my phone and I pull away fast. "Do not touch my property," I warn, heat rising. His chair scrapes as he stands too quickly. His father steps between us and plants a hand. "Sit down," comes out like a final order. He sits, but his eyes burn holes through me. "This is a distraction," he spits, fingers drumming. "The only facts that matter are coming soon." "Here is a fact," I counter, tapping the screen. "Any child's sex is not controlled by me." His mother exhales like something cracked inside. "We care about healthy," she whispers, hands trembling. He slams his palm once and the plates jump. "We care about legacy," he bites off, gaze sharp. I push back my chair and stand very slowly. "I will not attend announcements tonight." I pick up my bag and hold his stare. He half rises and points toward the driveway. "We leave together," he orders, voice icing over. "Not if you block me," I answer, already moving. He follows me to the porch with quick steps. "Keys," he demands, palm out and pulsing. I step down the stairs and keep walking. He grabs my elbow and squeezes too hard. "Let go," I say, loud enough for the house. The door flies open and his father storms out. "Hands off," he commands without hesitation. My elbow is released and blood rushes back. I step onto the path and dial the officer. "Active situation at this address," I report clear. Dispatch confirms and asks if weapons are present. "No," I answer, scanning the yard and street. "Units en route," the voice assures through static. He paces the porch and checks his phone again. I breathe through the pounding and keep my distance. His mother approaches and takes my free hand. "You and Lena stay here tonight," she whispers. I shake my head and glance at the gate. "My sister's house is safer," I tell her quietly. The siren wails faintly somewhere beyond the trees. He steps off the porch and tries for calm. "We can resolve this without uniforms." "Then stop interfering with my medical access," I reply. "Stop approaching schools, stop falsifying my consent." He flinches, then smooths his shirt like nothing happened. 2 patrol cars arrive and lights stutter across the street. An officer walks up and asks for names. I hand over the case number and the forged note. He studies the paper and looks at my arm. "Any injury?" he asks, eyes sharp and professional. "Bruising incoming," I answer, lifting the sleeve. He nods and turns to the man near the steps. "Sir, we need a conversation over here." They move aside and words blur under the radio crackle. I hold the porch rail and feel the world tilt. The second officer takes my phone and records photos. Send the urology screenshot to this address, she instructs. I forward Eve. Rithing and add the access log. Her mouth tightens as the attachments load. Protective order paperwork can start tonight, she offers. I exhale slowly and finally feel my lungs working. Do it, I say, voice low but certain. She nods and taps on a small tablet. My screen lights again with a fresh subject line. Lab portal message, results ready to view. I open the portal on the porch while sirens fade. The officer watches my screen like a witness to a draw. Result summary loads and my lungs seize for a beat. Low risk flagged, sex probability listed with bold certainty. I turn the display so the body cameras catch it. He steps down one stair and tries to peer in. Read it out loud, he dares with a crooked smile. Healthy fetus, likely female, I answer, voice clean. His face tightens as if a door slammed shut. The word female hangs between us like a live wire. He laughs once and spreads his arms for the crowd. Statistics shift, we try again if needed. The taller officer raises a palm and stops his stride. Do not escalate, comes calm but edged like steel. He lowers his gaze and mutters into his collar. I forward the result to my hidden inbox instantly. Then I text the advocate 3 words, result, female, recorded. Her reply pings lock everything plus a direct number. The second officer tilts her head toward the driveway. Where will you sleep tonight, she asks, voice brisk. My sister S, I answer while checking the street for surprises. He overhears and points at the house behind him. Family home protects what belongs here, he taps his chest. The officer shifts position and blocks his path. Court decides access, not you, she says flat. His phone rings and he turns his back slightly. He speaks low and fast, eyes flicking to me. Brunch tomorrow, announcement proceeds, he hisses into the call. I step closer to the officer and angle my camera. His knuckles whiten around the phone like a clamp. The first officer finishes writing and hands me papers. Temporary order authorization, service scheduled this evening. Keep this on you, he instructs with clipped calm. If he approaches within range, dial immediately. I tuck the order under my shirt and nod once. His mother appears with Lina's favorite stuffed friend. She presses it into my hands without a word. Then she turns to her son with a raw stare. You come inside now, she says, voice shaking. He ignores her and keeps his eyes nailed on me. The patrol car door opens and a new voice calls. Sir, we need your signature acknowledging delivery. He scoffs but steps over to sign the screen. When the stylus scratches, his mouth flattens in fury. The document beeps complete and the officer steps back. I walk toward my car and he strides alongside. You will not deny my bloodline, comes out strangled. I hold up the printout from the urology portal. Your numbers already did that, I say, controlled. He flinches like I pressed a bruise that never healed. He reaches for my door handle and the officer barks. Back away now, sharp enough to cut the night. He lifts both hands and gives an innocent shrug. Conversation only, he claims with a brittle chuckle. I slide in and hit the lock with my thumb. As I start the engine, my phone chimes again. A nurse from the lab pops onto the line. Confirm you saw results, she says, efficient and calm. Yes, and please restrict calls to my number only. Done, she answers, then pauses like she hears the tension. Anything else we should know, she asks, voice careful. Attempted interference earlier, police present now. Noted, she replies, we flag your chart for privacy. The call ends and my hands finally steady. The officer motions me forward while taking notes. Halfway down the block, a shadow moves near my bumper. A sedan pulls out and tucks in behind me. I change lanes once and it mirrors the move. My throat goes dry as the pattern holds. I call my sister and keep it clipped. Come to the back alley, she whispers through wind. I'll open the gate right now. I turn at the next light and count to 5. The sedan hesitates, then glides past like a ghost. I exhale and feel my shoulders drop an inch. The gate swings and I roll into the yard. My sister locks it and scans the street twice. Lena runs out in fuzzy socks and stops short. Are we staying? She asks, voice small but steady. Yes, and you're safe, I answer, touching her cheek. Inside, I lay the papers on the counter. My sister reads fast, then looks up with fire. We sleep in shifts, she says, already planning. I nod and open the portal again for screenshots. Every page gets saved to 2 places and printed. My phone buzzes with a new message request. Block number tries a hail of guilt and orders. I hit forward to the officer with a timestamp. Then I record a short statement facing the camera. My body, my choice, evidence secured, protective order active. A knock lands on T. He back gate like a drum beat. We freeze and check the peephole in silence. The officer from earlier stands with another copy. Service attempted, he refused a copy to parents. This is yours, she says, passing it through carefully. She eyes the alley and lowers her voice a notch. Move your car tomorrow and vary your paths. Will do, I answer, memorizing the route changes. She hands me a card with a direct extension. Use this if he circles the block, she adds. After they leave, I set my phone on the table. Another portal alert lands with a different subject. Provider message uploaded, genetic counselor available now. I click the link and a face appears quickly. We can schedule guidance on expectations, she offers gently. Tomorrow morning, I answer, eyes on the door. Early slot, she confirms, then sends a calendar hold. My sister scribbles the time on a sticky note. We plan rides and cover like a small command post. Every step gives me another inch of ground. I walk Lena to the spare room and tuck blankets. She grips my fingers and searches for a promise. Will he come here? She whispers into the quiet air. If he tries, grown-ups will stop him, I say. Her shoulders soften and she rolls toward the wall. Back in the kitchen, my sister sets down 2 mugs. Neither of us drinks, we just need anchors. My phone blinks with a voicemail I will not play. I delete it and block the number behind it. Silence returns and grows teeth around the edges. I open the camera and check my earlier recording. His announcement about a grandson plays like a confession. I trim the clip and save a fresh version. Then I back it up to an encrypted drive. Insurance layered on top of insurance feels necessary. A message pops from the advocate with a form. Civil harassment petition ready for electronic filing. File now, my sister urges, palm flat on the table. I upload the screenshots and the forged school note. Submission confirmed appears with a Klein digital stamp. Headlights slide across the curtains, then vanish quickly. We freeze and count the seconds until the street quiets. I text the officer with the time and direction. She responds with a thumbs up and a patrol sweep. The clock stutters toward midnight and finally slows. My sister takes the first watch with headphones on. I lie on the couch and keep my shoes nearby. The bag waits under the throw like a coiled plan. I rest one hand on my belly and breathe evenly. Somewhere outside, a car door shuts and then nothing. The gate rattles twice and my sister sits up straight. I grab the phone and start a new recording. Who's there? She calls through the crackling intercom. Delivery, a muffled voice answers, wrong cadence, wrong timing. I shake my head and text the officer on duty. The intercom squeals as he tries a different pitch. Open now or this gets ugly, he hisses finally. My sister hits the alarm and lights flare across fences. Footsteps patter away, then a car revs hard. I press send on the text with his plate number. The counselor appears on my screen 2 minutes later. Quick check before we schedule next steps, she offers softly. Privacy locked, you choose information flow. Only to me, I confirm, eyes on the window. She nods and sends resources I can open later. Another ping lands from the officer I messaged earlier. Patrol nearby, stay inside, the reply reads. I pace the kitchen and breathe through the spike. My sister posts her phone at the back door. We wait until tires crunch in the lane again. A knock, then a calm voice through the slats. Police, he calls, please confirm by name. I answer and show the order through the gap. He left the neighborhood heading west, the officer adds. Units will circle, you stay put for now. Lena wakes and pads into the hall in socks. Is the game still on, she whispers, searching faces. Different game, I say, steady as I can. She squeezes my hand and sits on the step. I feel her pulse racing under tiny fingers. My phone flashes with a new email from the lab. Secondary review complete, the subject reads crisp. I open it and scan the final line. No change, same conclusion, female prediction remains. I forward it to the case file immediately. The doorbell rings once more with a different rhythm. Process server, the caller announces, voice clipped. I open the side gate while my sister films. He passes a sealed copy and a proof sheet. Filed with the court an hour ago. I sign where he points and tuck the bundle away. He leaves and the yard settles into a watchful quiet. Then my phone buzzes with a video from an unknown number. I tap play and his face fills the screen. Choose loyalty or war, he growls, eyes unblinking. I forward the clip to the officer without commentary. My sister shakes her head and mouth stay alert. We will change routes today, she adds under her breath. I nod and retrieve the packed bag from the couch. Wise Doc's cash all accounted for and ready. The door camera chimes again and shows his mother. She stands alone, clutching a thin folder like a shield. I weigh risk against information and crack the gate. I have copies you should see, she says, voice frayed. Keep the door between us if that helps. I hold the opening while my sister records from inside. His mother slides pages forward with trembling hands. Appeals for faster testing, requests in his handwriting. A clinic note acknowledging his prior appointment dates. She looks at her shoes and waits for judgment. Why bring this now, I ask, thumb on the latch. Because he is not stopping, she answers, jaw firming. I warned him, he calls me disloyal. She nods toward the street and lowers her voice. Take Lena and go, I will handle the rest. Tires hiss, a sedan noses into view at the corner. His mother stiffens and steps back from the gate. Inside, my sister hisses, pulling the door wider. I pocket the pages and bolt the latch. The sedan idles, then creeps toward the alley mouth. A text lands from a neighbor 2 houses down. Car stalling by the bins, driver watching your yard. I reply with a quick thanks and hit dial. Suspicious vehicle returned, I report to dispatch. Protective order active, we are sheltering now. Sirens bloom, faint then near, the sedan jerks forward. It jumps the stop sign and cuts left hard. I catch a glimpse of his profile through the glass. The patrol car swings in behind with lights snapping. I film through the curtain while my sister calls updates. He takes the next corner and clips a trash can. Officers fan out and block the exit to the lane. Doors open, commands crackle, hands rise halfway. He argues and gestures at our fence like a target. Cameras roll as he steps 1 foot over the curb. The officer closest to him points at the order. He waves it off and takes 1 more step. Metal clicks and his wrists come together fast. He twists and curses, then spots my shadow in the window. Traitor, he spits, neck muscles straining against the hold. I steady the phone and hold the shot a beat. The second officer faces my camera with practiced calm. Violation recorded, transporting now. She nods once and guides him toward the car. He lunges and shouts, but the door swallows his noise. My sister exhales and reaches for my shoulder. Lena peeks from the hallway with eyes like question marks. Is it over? She breathes, voice barely there. Not over, I answer, keeping it honest. Safer, I add, and see her shoulders lower. The officer returns to the gate with paperwork. Arraignment this afternoon, she explains, tone brisk. You can request a longer order immediately. I sign the notice and ask for court directions. She draws a quick map and taps the final turn. His mother reappears at the edge of the yard. She keeps distance and lifts her hands, empty now. I will testify, she says with a raw calm. I cannot cover for him anymore. Her eyes flick to Lena and then back. We pack in 5 minutes and split cars. My sister takes Lena with the stuffed friend. I drive behind them and watch mirrors like a hawk. No tail, no lurking shapes, just the open road. I keep one hand on the wheel and breathe. At the courthouse, I pass through security and file. The clerk stamps forms while my pulse hammers. Judge available in 20, the clerk informs without drama. I sit on a hard bench and recheck the clips. Every file opens clean and plays in full. He enters in cuffs with a public defender trailing. Our eyes lock and the room tilts for a second. He smiles like he knows a trick I forgot. The bailiff calls our case and everything sharpens. I stand and the air feels thin but solid. The judge reads the summary and looks up slowly. Any threats after service of the order, she asks. I play the video with his promise of war. His jaw works and his attorney goes rigid. The gavel taps once in time, slows to a crawl. Extended protection approved, the judge announces, voice firm. No contact, no proximity, surrender of devices today. A court officer steps forward with another set of forms. He stares at the table and says nothing at all. I sign with a hand that finally stops shaking. Outside, the sky goes quiet like a held breath. My sister waves from the curb and Lena runs ahead. She jumps into my arms and clings without talking. I kiss her hairline and feel the knot loosen. We walk to the car as the phone buzzes again. A final email from the clinic lands in my inbox. Access restricted to the patient, the header reads. I open it and see the flag on my chart. Only my number, only my address, only my consent. I close the screen and grip the wheel like a promise. We pull away and pass the lane where he lingered. His mother stands by the curb with her chin lifted. She gives a small nod like a bridge being lowered. I nod back and keep driving toward the next thing. My daughter laughs once in the back seat and everything reorders.